Sophia's bouquet slipped from her hands and hit the church floor. Her phone trembled in her fingers as she read the message again. "I'm sorry. I can't do this. Please don't look for me." For a moment, she couldn't breathe. The guests had already begun whispering. "Where is the groom? Why is the ceremony taking so long?" Her maid of honor walked toward her. "Sophia, what's wrong?" Tears filled her eyes. "He's gone." "What do you mean?" "He left me." The entire church became silent. Her mother rushed forward. "What happened?" Sophia could barely speak. "He sent me a message. He doesn't want to marry me." A loud gasp filled the room. Her father looked shocked. No, this can't be happening. But it was. The man she had loved for 4 years had disappeared on their wedding day. Sophia turned and ran out of the church. She didn't care about the guests. She didn't care about her makeup or her wedding dress. She only cared about the pain tearing her apart. She sat inside her car and cried until she could barely breathe. If you've ever believed that painful endings can lead to beautiful beginnings, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment, "New Beginnings." The days that followed were even worse. The story spread quickly. Friends called. Relatives sent messages. Social media was filled with rumors. Some people felt sorry for her. Others mocked her. One comment broke her heart. "No man leaves a woman on her wedding day unless something is wrong with her." She threw her phone across the room. Her mother entered quietly. "You need to eat." "I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten since yesterday." "I said I'm not hungry." Her mother sat beside her. "It's not your fault." Sophia started crying again. "Why wasn't I enough?" "You are enough." "Then why did he leave me?" Her mother had no answer. For weeks, Sophia locked herself inside her room. She stopped answering calls. She ignored her friends. She stopped going to work. One evening, her best friend Mia visited. "You can't keep doing this." Sophia stared at the ceiling. "My life is over." "No, it isn't. Everyone is talking about me. Let them talk. I'll never trust anyone again." Mia sighed. "You don't know what tomorrow holds." Sophia laughed bitterly. "Tomorrow can't be any worse than today." But tomorrow would change everything. A few days later, she decided to go for a walk. She needed air. She needed silence. She walked through a small park and sat on a bench. Then she heard someone crying. A little boy stood a few feet away. He couldn't have been older than 6. Tears covered his face. Sophia stood up. "Are you okay?" The boy shook his head. "I can't find my daddy." She looked around. There was no adult nearby. "What's your name?" "Ethan." "How long have you been here?" "I don't know." He looked terrified. Despite her own pain, she couldn't leave him. "Don't worry. We'll find your dad." The little boy held her hand tightly. A few minutes later, a man came running through the park. He looked panicked. "Ethan!" The little boy's face lit up. "Daddy!" He ran into the man's arms. The man hugged him tightly. "I've been looking everywhere for you." Then he looked at Sophia. "Was he with you?" She nodded. He was crying. The man looked relieved. "Thank you. I don't know what I would have done." Sophia smiled for the first time in weeks. "It's okay." The man noticed her wedding ring. Then he noticed the sadness in her eyes. "You look like someone carrying a lot of pain." She looked away. "I'm fine." He smiled gently. "No, you're not." She didn't know why, but she laughed. It was the first genuine laugh she had made in a long time. "My name is Daniel," he said. "I'm Sophia." Before leaving, Ethan hugged her. "Thank you for helping me." She watched them walk away. For some reason, her heart felt lighter. A week later, she returned to the same park. To her surprise, Daniel and Ethan were there. Ethan ran toward her. "It's my friend." Daniel laughed. "I think he likes you." Sophia smiled. They sat together and talked. She learned that Daniel was a widower. His wife had died 3 years earlier. Since then, He had been raising Ethan alone. That must be difficult, she said. It is, Daniel replied, but he's worth every struggle. Over the next few weeks, they kept meeting. Sometimes by coincidence, sometimes intentionally. Slowly, Sophia began smiling again. One afternoon, Ethan held her hand. "Will you come eat ice cream with us?" She laughed. "I guess I can." For the first time in months, she felt alive. One evening, Daniel looked at her. "You've changed." "What do you mean?" "The first day I met you, you looked broken." She became quiet. "I was." "What happened?" For a long time, she said nothing. Then she finally told him everything. The wedding, the message, the humiliation, the tears. When she finished, Daniel looked heartbroken. "I'm sorry," she shrugged. "It is what it is." "No, what happened to you was cruel." She looked at him. "How did you survive losing your wife?" He smiled sadly. "One day at a time." Then he added softly, "Pain doesn't disappear overnight, but eventually, life gives you reasons to smile again." His words stayed with her. Months passed. Sophia became close to Daniel and Ethan. They had dinner together. They laughed together. They celebrated birthdays together. One evening, Mia looked at her and smiled. "You like him?" Sophia nearly dropped her cup. "What?" "You heard me." "No, I don't." "You smile every time he calls." She laughed nervously. "I don't know what you're talking about." But deep inside, she knew Mia was right. She had feelings for Daniel, and that terrified her. "What if he leaves too?" she asked. Mia squeezed her hand. "Not everyone walks away." If you're enjoying this story, hit the like button and comment, "Love finds a way." A few days later, Daniel invited her to the park. The same park where they had met. When she arrived, Ethan was holding flowers. She looked confused. "What is going on?" Daniel took a deep breath. "The worst day of your life brought you into ours." She stared at him. "I don't know when it happened, but somewhere along the way, you became very important to us." Tears filled her eyes. Daniel smiled. "You helped my son when he was scared." He took a step closer. "You brought happiness back into our lives." Ethan handed her the flowers. Then Daniel said softly, "I think I've fallen in love with you." Sophia covered her mouth. "And I know you're afraid." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "But I promise you this. I will never make you question your worth." She couldn't speak. Then little Ethan tugged her hand. "Will you stay with us forever?" She looked at the little boy, then at Daniel, and suddenly she realized something. The man who left her at the altar had broken her heart, but this man had slowly put the pieces back together. She smiled through her tears. "Yes." Ethan jumped with excitement. Daniel pulled her into a hug. 1 year later, Sophia walked down another aisle. This time she wasn't nervous. At the end of the aisle stood Daniel and Ethan. As she reached them, she smiled. Sometimes life takes away the person you thought you needed, so it can give you the person you truly deserve. She looked at Daniel. "I'm ready." He smiled. "So am I." They said their vows, and the room filled with tears and applause. Sophia had once thought her life was over. Instead, it had just begun. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment. Unexpected love is beautiful, because sometimes the most painful ending becomes the beginning of the greatest love story of all.